Um, Next topic. You ready?
I think so.
All right, man. So, how do you handle pressure? You want to go first?
Yeah. I would say stay heavily anchored. So, I've been working remote for 4 years. A lot of stress in the job. I've been here at the house, and so it's been a mental journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a spiritual journey. It's been a physical journey. I've had to learn about myself, self care, learning when to recognize stressors, what those stressors are, separating stress. What is stress? Biochemical. Like I went way into the chemistry, into the science.
Yeah.
But I've learned that for me, it's staying disciplined, keeping my routine, staying heavily anchored. And by that, I mean exercise is probably the best, for me, it's one of the best things for stress relief.
That's right.
So, anxiety, work out. Like I get out here, I turn the heat up, lifting weights, I'm jumping rope. And it's awful to do that. But when I finish, it's like that's the best I can do. It's like it's calming. My kids, my wife would tell you, Daddy, you need to go work out because I'm like all over the place. They're like, you need to go exercise. That's one thing. So that's the physical. I guess maybe it's the same kind of the three buckets, but that's physical. I think mentally, it's heavily anchored. What are your anchors? What's keeping you anchored in your beliefs, really? So for me, I heard somebody say, what are your life scriptures?
Mm.
And so maybe we come back to that at some point. But I've got a lot of things hanging up on the wall. You see my stuff here. I've got stuff over there you can't see. I have stuff in the house. I wear stuff. I have on this arm I've got Psalms. It's be still and know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a story. I can come back to that in a minute. From the Psalms, be still and know. And it's a heavy scripture. So whatever you're going through, be still and know. Be still and know. So that's one that I wear. I carry this with me everywhere I go. And then the other ones, I don't know if we got into this last time or not, but this is Galatians 2. I am crucified with Christ. I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. So trying to keep that context. When I get stressed, I have a helper. I'm not by myself. I just have to keep going. I'm walking, staying obedient. So I think being heavily anchored, mind, body. I like Nipsey Hussle. That's a random thing to say, but I think about anytime I get super stressed, there's this Nipsey Hussle song. It says, I don't stress out. I poke my chest out. The weight on my shoulder brings the best out. So I throw on some Nipsey Hussle and just kind of keep my discipline, man. And eventually I tend to break through. So I just keep going, man. And it's been a grind. I see you smiling. What's up?
I don't know that song,
Okay.
but man, the stress on my back brings the best out. So we talked about this for a second. How, oh my gosh, when you're broken, God can use you the best. I think was it Peter that says, it was good that I was afflicted?
Maybe Paul, but
Maybe
keep
Paul?
going.
Yeah,
Keep going.
Peter, Paul, they both in the New Testament, you know what I mean?
That's good, man. That's
Because, like, when you hit that hard issue, whatever that thorn is that you had, whatever your thorn
in my
is,
flesh,
it forces you to rely on Him.
yeah.
And when you're relying on Him, you can do some amazing things. The last 18, the last 18 months of life has been hard, really hard, right? And I'm coming to lean on Jesus like I never have before. I mean, honestly, like I never have before. And through all the pain and the struggles and, just all these, I call them small fires. We talked about it, stressors, all the potential stressors around. God has allowed me to accomplish some things this year that, I mean, it's kind of been amazing.
Yeah.
Not to go deep into detail, but He uses best when we're broken. I heard somebody say, like even a broken crayon still colors.
I like that.
I really like that too, man.
It's another one of them
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah, like you can see it.
Yeah.
You can see it. But yeah, That's you. You done on that one? Or you,
I think I'm good.
you think so?
That's what works for me. So same with you. So you kind of started down this path, but in the past 18 months,
yeah, man.
how have you handled it? What have you done? How's that going?
The first thing, and so the first thing, and I'm just talking about this situation. I leaned on my own understanding. You know, like, I'm gonna figure this thing out. I'm gonna get it done. And I'm not even a type A personality. Like, if it's the B is up to me, I'm not even that type of person. But it's just like, you know, I'm smart enough to figure this out. You know, but what I've found to be effective is getting into the scriptures. Because getting into the scriptures, and this is for believers. You're not a believer, you don't have to subscribe to this, but this is what I subscribe to.
Yeah.
Getting into the word so that you can better understand the statutes and the promises of God. Getting to the point to where you know God's resume. Okay, so that's point one, knowing what He's done. And then part two of that is knowing that He can do it for you, because that's hope. Because I mean, there's faith and there's hope. Faith is, I believe in God. I know, I believe He's the God of, you know, David, you know, Moses, Abraham, all of that. I believe in all of that. But my hope, what do I believe that He's going to do for me? You know, because if I got all the faith, but I don't, you know, when it comes to me, oh man, if it ain't one thing, it's always another. You know what I mean? If I got that context, then my faith ain't gonna move nothing. You know what I mean? So yeah, first off, like I said, getting God's resume, seeing what He's done, and then getting to the point to where you actually believe it, that He can do it for you.
Yeah.
23rd Psalm, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Man, that's all I need.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Getting to that point.
But what's crazy, man, is like you say, it's the heavy lifting, but it's not a physical thing.
Not at all.
You don't physically lift anything. So it's a heavy lift, but it's a spiritual lift.
Because you're fighting as a logical person, I'm fighting my intellect.
Yeah. Intellect can be a block.
I'm submitting my intellect because I just think I'm a smart dude. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think I'm a smart dude. You know what I mean? And so, but for me to be able to like, man, I can't figure this thing out, and I need help, Lord. I need.
It takes humility.
I need some help. Yeah,
it takes humility to say I can't.
Yes.
God help me.
Growth as well.
Yeah.
Because humility ain't something that you just wake up with.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I think that's the largest portion of it. Also handling stress, because I'll go to physical, you know, body. Playing basketball is like, I mean, I like exercising too. I like working out because I'm still at that point. Like, I still like to try to amaze myself, like shock myself that I can still do this. I can still do this. Oh wow, you know.
Yeah.
Playing basketball. I mean, not just getting out and running and playing with people, but like, if it's a Friday night and there's nothing going on, I can go to the gym and I can shoot around for an hour and I feel amazing afterwards.
You got a place you can go and do that?
Yeah.
And you get some private time?
Yep. If there's nobody in there, I'll just shoot.
Where do you go?
Huh?
Where do you go?
Bluff Road.
Bluff Road, okay.
Bluff Road, yeah.
I grew up playing at Bluff Road.
I mean, if it's nobody there, I'll shoot around to
what
my
time do
heart's
they close?
content.
10 o'clock?
Close at 9 now.
9 o'clock.
It used to be 10 when we were younger, though.
Yep, I remember
because, wow, we would leave.
ECYBL, you recognize that?
Yeah. East Columbia, yeah. We would leave football, man. We were all about ball. We would leave football practice, take a shower, because, you know, you get showers at the school, take a shower, go straight to the gym. Don't go home. Maybe stop at Burger King and grab a couple of 99-cent burgers. Straight to the gym and play basketball. We get out of practice about 4 o'clock, well, almost 5 o'clock. Straight to the gym, play basketball from 6 to 10. Monday through Thursday, because games were on Friday. Like, I mean, that was our life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, when you have that in you, and it's freeing. Between those lines, it's freeing. Like, you know, whatever I got going on in life, once I step inside those 4 lines, that's just going to have to wait. You know what I mean? It completely clears your mind. And if you don't have something that you could do that frees you from the daily pressures or whatnot, I would say do some discovery.
Yeah.
And find that thing.
Something.
Even if it's only for like 20 minutes a day. if you just put some headphones in and you do you some walking,
Yeah.
and that just releases you for a little bit, do that.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find the time for it.
Yeah.
But you got to do it.
You got to make time.
You got to make the time.
That's it.
Nobody handing out more time.
Nobody's
giving out
Nobody,
time.
man. Look here. You can find a whole lot of things. Can't find more time, man.
Right.
So yeah, that's the spirit, and well, that's the body, that's the spirit. In the mind, handling pressure, depending. How would I say this? I want to say knowing that I'm not in control, because I can handle what I can handle, but the outcome is not up to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we talked about this FPPS. So you got, I'm gonna say it backwards though. You got sowing. I can completely control sowing seeds. I mean, that's no matter what's going on in my life, I got control of that. Prayer and praise. I got complete control over that. Like nobody gonna come in my car and change my radio station.
Yeah,
I got complete control over that. So, and what was the F? Oh my gosh, it was FPPS. Fasting. That's it.
Oh, really?
How did I forget fasting?
How could you forget
What's going
fasting?
on here? Hey, man.
I'm mid-fast now. I haven't had any food since yesterday, and I'm starving.
Really?
I need to stop. This is my last one.
Oh, we're going to eat afterwards. We're going down. We going to Publix as soon as this thing is over, and we getting some sushi. But yeah, so those 4 things: fasting, prayer, praise, and sowing. No matter what situation you got going on in your life, those are 4 things you can absolutely control. And it actually should take some weight off your shoulders, knowing that the outcome is not up to me. You know, I can do what I can do, but you know, it's up to God.
Yeah.
You know, man waters, God brings forth the harvest. Correct?
Yeah.
Ain't that about right?
That's in.
Okay. Yeah.
I ain't gonna say where that is. I don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah, it's all right, man. Hey, we got Dr. Google.
You don't want people checking behind you.
We got Dr. Google, man. Look here, and when you're talking about life verses, I don't have any particular life verses. I find what works for me. What works for me is I try to find a verse that speaks to where I'm at. And the more specific, the better. And so I go through, and I mean, like, I'll pull up Dr. Google in a second and jump on an article where it's like the top 15 Bible verses for whatever season you're dealing with, man.
Yeah.
Well, for loss or for mourning or whatever. And I will go through those verses to see what fits. And then I will jump in and I'll read to get the context.
I like that.
You know, so, because I've gotten that question before. I've heard that question before. Like, you know, what's your favorite verse or what's your go-to verse? 23rd Psalm. And I say that because as a kid, usually if you're in church, you learn that. That's one of those you learn, you know. After the model prayer, that's one of the ones you learn. So I mean, you know it backwards and forwards for the most part.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's simple, but it is so fundamental.
Yeah.
I mean, as you grow, you can go back and read it, and you can get something new from it.
Yeah.
You know, so
I will say, you know, I'm in seminary now. I've learned a lot over the past few years. I did not always know. I mean, when I first started a few years ago, I didn't know any of this stuff, really. So one of the things I did was, whatever I'm dealing with, what does the Bible say about money?
Yep.
Google, what does the Bible say about money? As I'm walking in life trying to deal with problems, if I'm supposed to, this is the instruction manual, then what does it say about being a husband? What does it say about being a father? What does it say about stress, anxiety? So I really was using Google to get those 10, 15, and then I started to realize, okay, this repeats. And that one's this one's in the Old Testament, New Testament. And so it was like just this, it's almost like a puzzle.
Yeah, coming together, yeah.
It's almost like a puzzle, kind of like you said, coming together. So, but that's kind of how I learned. I did a lot of YouTube. I think I mentioned that last time as well. But yeah, knowing where to go. And to me, I don't really have a map on what I read in the scriptures. It depends on the day.
Yeah.
Tough days, I'm in James. Count it all joy. Some days I'm in the Old Testament. I like Jeremiah, so I think that might have been divine that my parents named me Jeremy because my life seems to be kind of like Jeremiah. He was a prophet. He was called. He was minding his business. And not claiming to be those things, but it was, as I read some of what his story was, I think it's kind of interesting. So just depending on the day, I've come to learn where it talks about certain things. If I want to go to Christian living, I go to Ephesians. But I had to get to that point. It took a lot. It took the reading, the discipline, the awareness, the time, all of that as well to get to it. So but that's a good strategy. Anybody interested in learning how, it's just use Google. So what's your question? I can almost assure you that somebody else has asked the same question.
It might, as soon as you start typing, it might pop up automatically.
AI.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's right, man. And you know, for those who may be older, you know, grab yourself a Strong's Concordance. Mm-hmm. If you don't like the technology, the Strong's Concordance, I mean, now they got the strongest Strong's Concordance out. So you'll look up a word, it'll show you everywhere in Scripture where that word is, and then if you want to go deep, you know, it will take you to where the Hebrew is and where the Greek is in the Strong's Concordance. So those tools are readily accessible.
Yeah.
I wish they had a Strong's Concordance online for free.
I remember using the concordance in school. I have not touched it since I've been out of school.
Yeah.
Some things I put down, I'm going to leave that right there until I come back.
One thing I'm starting to appreciate, and you could do a Google search, or you can do the Strong's Concordance because it's going to have it in order. Like the first time that something is mentioned in the Bible, so that you can get the original intent. You know, like what was it meant the very first time it was brought up?
Yeah.
I'm starting to develop an appreciation for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at different points in the Bible, you might see something that seems contradictory.
Yeah.
Seems. Because it depends on who's saying it.
Yeah.
You know, if there's a believer saying it, someone who's in the way, it means one thing. But if it's a Gentile saying it, it may be something else. But you
context.
can go, but you can go back and get context from the very first time it was brought up. So
Interesting. Interesting.
I ain't no master at that at all. I'm telling you.
Learning.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it, like we talked about last time, it's progress.
Yeah.
1% progress is progress. I mean, 100 days, that's 100% progress, man. So, hey.
That's easy math there.
Yeah.
I mentioned
Math guy.
Yeah, that's right. I mentioned on the call today, I said inch by inch, everything's a cinch. Mm-hmm. So one day, one
Is that
step.
Dr. Seuss?
It might be
I'm
Dr.
just
Seuss,
saying,
man. That might be Dr. Seuss.
That's what it sounds like.
The great philosopher.
Yeah, hey, man. That guy
Seuss.
he was a genius, man. The Lorax,
I love the Lorax.
He was before his time, man.
Yeah.
And you look at the world today, it's like, that's exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah. I had a medical procedure. Should we?
Man, let's do it. Let's do it, man.